Marketing can sometimes feel like you're trying to solve a puzzle in the dark, right? But what if I told you it could be as simple and as sturdy as building a stool? That's the powerful idea we're going to dig into today. A three-legged framework that can support pretty much any successful marketing plan out there. But first, let's start with a question I'm sure a lot of you have asked at some point. Why do so many marketing plans just fail? I mean, you put in the time, you spend the budget, but the results, they're just not there. So what's going wrong? Well, a lot of the time, the answer is surprisingly simple. A marketing plan falls apart because it's like a stool with one of its legs missing. It's totally unstable, it's wobbly, and there's no way it can support the weight of your goals. So let's build a better one. So what exactly is this three-legged marketing stool we're talking about? The real beauty of this whole idea is just how simple it is. It all comes down to three absolutely critical parts: your product, your price, and your promotion. If you can get these three legs right, you've built a super stable foundation for growth. All right, let's get to it. Let's start building our stool, focusing on one leg at a time, and really explore what makes each one so important. First up, we have our first leg, the product. Now, this sounds obvious, I know, but it's way more than just the thing you sell. It's the answer to the most important question of all. What problem are you actually solving for someone? Your product has to genuinely add value to your customer's life, because honestly, if this leg is shaky, the other two don't even matter. So how do you make sure that product leg is rock solid? First off, you gotta get obsessed with your customer's pain points. What is truly driving them crazy? Then, you use all that feedback, you look at the market trends, and you innovate. And finally, and this is a big one, you never ever compromise on quality and the user experience. That's what turns a one-time buyer into a lifelong fan. Okay, next up, leg number 2, price. This one is all about finding that perfect sweet spot. It's a really delicate balancing act, right? If you charge too much, you're gonna scare people away. But if you charge too little, you can't keep the lights on. Your price is the number that sends a powerful message about your product's value. So, how do we find that sweet spot? Well, a great place to start is to see what your competitors are doing. Then you can tap into a little bit of pricing psychology. You know that little trick where something is $99.99 instead of $10? Yeah, that stuff actually works. And for bigger ticket items, offering flexible payment options can be the one thing that gets a customer over the finish line. And that brings us to our third and final leg, promotion. Think about it. You could have the world's best product at the absolute perfect price, but if nobody knows it exists, well, it might as well not exist. Promotion is how you tell the world about the awesome value you're offering. It's your megaphone. And in today's world, promotion has to be strategic. You use social media to go where the people are, to join the conversations they're already having. You use email to build a direct, personal line to your customers. And you use content marketing, things like blogs and videos, to educate them and add value, building trust long before you ever ask for a sale. Okay, so our stool's built, it's got 3 strong legs, it feels solid. But here's the thing, a sturdy stool isn't very useful if it's just sitting in the wrong room. This is where we need to add a layer of precision, using a fantastic tool called the STP Framework. There's this great quote that just hits the nail on the head. You can't be all things to all people. The goal of great marketing isn't to just shout into the void and hope someone out there is listening. No, it's about finding the right people and speaking directly to them. That focus, that's your secret weapon. And the STP framework is basically a 3-step recipe for getting that focus. First, you segment the market. Then, you target the best audience for you. And finally, you position your brand in their minds. Let's break each of these down real quick. Segmentation is kind of like looking at a huge, messy crowd of people and starting to organize them into smaller, more manageable groups. Instead of chaos, you create clarity by grouping them based on things like their age, where they live, what they're interested in, or how they shop. So once you've got your segments, targeting is where you make your choice. You look at all those different groups and you have to decide, okay, who can we really help the most? Where will our product make the biggest splash? That group, that's your target. And that leads to the final step, positioning. This is all about what happens inside your customer's head. When they think about the problem you solve, you want your brand to be the very first thing that pops into their mind. What makes you different and better than everyone else? That's your unique selling proposition, your USP. Okay, so we've got our sturdy stool, product, price, and promotion. And we have our precision tool, segmentation, targeting, and positioning. So the big question is, how do these things actually work together? This is where the magic happens, where it all just clicks into place. The STP framework acts as a guide for your 3 legs. You use segmentation to understand how to maybe tweak your product for different groups. You use targeting to lock in the perfect price for the audience you've chosen. And you use positioning to craft that killer promotional message that makes your brand the only logical choice for them. See how they all connect? As you can probably see now, everything is connected. And the most important takeaway here is about finding balance. You can't just have a great product and completely ignore how you promote it. Let's look at what happens when these things get out of sync. So, on one hand, when your strategy is all out of whack, say you spend a fortune promoting a product that's just not ready, you might get some attention at first, but in the long run, you're actually damaging your brand. But when all 3 legs are strong and everything is balanced, that's when you build a rock-solid reputation, you get sustainable sales, and you earn real awareness in the market. The difference is night and day. So look, if there is just one thing you take away from all this today, please let it be this. A truly successful marketing strategy needs 2 things: a well-built stool with 3 strong legs, and the precision to place that stool exactly where your ideal customer is sitting. And that leaves us with one final thought. As you're thinking about your own business, your own projects, just ask yourself this. Which leg of my marketing stool needs a little work right now? Is it my product, my price, or my promotion? Because whatever the answer is, that's your starting line.